Hello guys, and welcome back to Strategic Command, World War II World at War, with our first ever PvP here against SirTravis. We've received his turn back, so let's go ahead and open up that replay. We've had a lot of interesting things going on. He's very focused about China. We recently made a deal to let that sub go away. There's another sub over here. Very interesting. What's it looking for? Is it trying to scout? Does he think he can just see everything all the time with that? Alright, so he's strat bombing Paris. I kind of saw this coming. He took 2 damage to that strat bomber and only dealt 1 damage, so that was not worth it for him at all. It's a good thing I plan on putting an anti-air there. Oh, he ran away up here. I wasn't sure. I thought he would commit, honestly, but he didn't. A Canadian bomber? Oh my god. He took 1 damage. He's trying to bomb the port. I don't think he realizes how useless that actually is. Because the town's also giving me supply. Oh! DEI just fucking joined us. Oh, he didn't even comment on that, bro. Okay, so some stuff just happened. I wish the replay went shorter. When you're in single player, it goes much different. Paris damaged from bombing. Yeah, I see that. Weird that there's like an event from that. Thailand annexes colonial territory from French Indochina. Yeah, they're gonna join us one day anyway. DEI joins the Axis. Oh my god, we did it. That was way faster than I expected. Nice. Well, there goes all the rest of the invested MPPs. We disrupted Iraq, UK, New Zealand, UK. These are all subs, right? Yeah, okay. And Tripartite Pact. Yeah, that's... Vichy France protests attack on Dakar. And we have an event. Oh, it's the event. China is receiving supplies from French Indochina via the Hanoi-Kunming Railway, yet we may be able to stop this if we exert some diplomatic pressure on the French authorities in Hanoi. It will cost 25 MPPs, and the plan is to bribe and coerce the local authorities into allowing us to occupy the territory through which the railway runs. Would you therefore like to try using diplomacy to prevent the transfer of military supplies to China through Indochina? Although seizing this territory will reduce China's income, moving any units into this part of Indochina will push Indochina towards joining the Allies, as the authorities in Hanoi will fear that a full invasion and takeover is next. If we don't invest into this diplomatic venture, the only way to cut China's supply via the Hanoi-Kunming Railway will be by declaring war on French Indochina and capturing Hanoi. Well, what about Kunming? Either way, I do want to do this. This is a nice way to cut off his supply, and then, you know, next we'll take over all of Indochina. Only 25 MPPs, totally worth it, because it will take way more MPPs away from him, because he's gonna have to now do the Burma Road, which is not as good of a deal as the Hanoi-Kunming Railroad by a long shot. So yeah, there you go. There you go, we did it. He didn't even move this engineer. That's weird. He did some reinforcing. He didn't move this engineer. He has a garrison on the... Is he trying to slow me down with bodies? He's like, oh, well, I don't need the engineers, so let's let them die to slow him down. Same thing with this garrison. Let me move this garrison out into the middle of the road so that I can get the army behind the fortifications. Is he sacrificing Chinese bodies to slow me down? He also completely pulled away from his attempted assault here. I was talking to him about this, and I told him that it was my intent to lure out some of his units to get beat up. And I think that might have bothered him, just judging by the fact that he just retreated all the way. Like, he didn't even try to attack, like, anywhere, really. He's just like, let me just do what China does best now and defend. I did intend to lure out a couple units and hurt him with it. However, I didn't expect him to commit so much, and we went over that. And so that's why I sent this army over here, and, you know, I was trying to, like, fill in. I thought we might lose this core, honestly. So that's why I told him that I did in fact expect it, because without really saying anything more, he immediately took that as he lost and played into my hands somehow. And I think that literal 1 sentence was enough to get him to pull back. I think if I didn't comment on it, he would have kept attacking. So there's some Supreme Ruler mind games from like PvP right there. Although I really didn't have to say much. I just had to say that I kind of expected this, and that he put more forward than I was even intending to have him put out, and he just completely called off the entire offensive. That was really quick and really simple and easy. I'm just amazed he didn't go on any other offensive or attack anywhere else at all. He could have gotten some damage in for sure against my offensive forces, I feel like. But he's decided to just do the exact opposite now. I guess because probably out of like frustration of like not getting certain desired results, if I had to guess. So let's look at the DEI, because this is ours now. It's in the war right now. And technically, like, maybe that's why he has this destroyer here. I really don't understand why this is here. Seems like a stupid idea. Actually, no, we're not at war with the Brits. So yeah, I don't know why this is here. It can't do anything here, but it is what it is. DEI has joined us, and I don't know if we'll still... Theoretically, no, we should. I don't know if we'll get these free, because I know, like, usually you get them for free if you invade the DEI. Regardless, I got what I wanted. So the DEI has provided us with a group of fighters that can help defend the island. We have already acquired their income via this convoy line. I don't think that's gonna change. I think it was their full income already anyway, but now what having this means, we don't have to invade it. It means when America tries their oil embargo that happened historically, we won't lose this income for a large number of turns, you know, of having to wait until you do Pearl Harbor and then come down here and invade this and then recover the supply around here. No, we just have this all right now. I don't know why some of this stuff supply is so bad. Oh man, this doesn't even like produce any supply. That's not good. Oh, regardless, we have it. Eventually we'll have the other stuff as well. And it's nice because it's granted me a couple of extra things as well. One more light cruiser for the fleet. Actually, two. So, not that I needed the light cruisers, really. I need more destroyers, but light cruisers are good enough for that purpose. It's like better than nothing at the end of the day. We have the Batavia Corps. This is a single corps to defend, and their fighters, which could be pretty handy in case he tries to do an invasion or send any British carriers over here lately or whatever. And they can recruit even more. They can have their own 2 HQs, but they only have 1 commander on the list. They can have 3 more corps, which are, of course, going to be mainly for defensive purposes, and that's exactly what I plan to use them for. And then they can have another sub, 2 destroyers, and 2 more destroyers. Well, no, they don't have any. Well, 2 destroyers, and 1 tactical bomber, which is all really, really useful stuff. So, I mean, I'm happy with that. I'll take that. That stuff can definitely come in handy, because with, you know, 4 corps, it's quite a lot of defense we can do, especially of the main islands. A functional, balanced air fleet. Oh my god, this fucking HQ. Von Lieb, Von Lieb. Why do you make me hate you, Von Lieb? Let's put you by Allenstein, Von Lieb. How does that sound? Sounds good to me. Allenstein, you go. You're a decent general, I think. Von Lieb. So now that we'll have that uninterrupted income, that's really going to help us a whole lot. America still is not mobilized enough to have started Lend-Lease, so he's still functioning with less than he should be historically, and this is what some of these deals have helped accomplish. USSR is still pretty low, and of course they're going to be our next massive target. India sometime soon should be joining the war, sometime after 41, I believe. There's a couple more options we can go for diplomacy if we really wanted to, but right now I've done all the diplomacy I care to do. We don't have to stop him from doing anything. I have the DEI. This is really my goal at this point, and I made sure to spend a lot to get it in time. We are loved by Vichy France, Algeria, and Tunisia, but quite frankly, if he does Operation Torch, I get Vichy France anyway. I just annex it for free, from what I've seen. If he does it correctly, that is. If he doesn't, then, well, yeah, it doesn't really matter. I can still probably get them to join me anyway. And then Tunisia as well. If he declares war on these, I get them. If I liberate them, then they may as well have joined me. Everyone with a blue circle around them on this map is someone that is either in the Axis already, or like, you know, Nanjing right here, or someone that is leaning towards, and the intensity shows by how much. Vichy France at 55, Spain at 29. So we have a lot of good opportunities if we want to pull any more in. However, a lot of these, their main benefit is simply that they're not leaning allies. So if he wanted to try to get them, he really would have a tough time, and thus he would have to go through them. So Spain, I'd like to get Spain. It's just not worth the money, if you ask me. Because, you know, Portugal may join. He'll be able to swing them towards him later. You got Peru is just leaning Axis, but like not really, hardly at all. We know these ones over here, they'll join pretty much for free. And then this one will join with the deal that we made. We'll get Yugoslavia. Turkey is 0% Axis. That would also be a really good one, but again, I think we're good with what we can get financially. Right now, we need a dead set focus on anything else. So, like units. We need to be effective there. So let's take the Andrea Doria. Let's move back up here. Let's bombard this, bringing that back down to 0, taking no damage. Move you back into port. Move you back into port. And so the actual hex is at 0 supply. This port's at 1, but it's going to maintain 1 because it keeps going 0, 1, 0, 1, and having supply as a result. Unfortunately, it is going to be at like full health, but it won't be able to resupply very much at all. So we're going to try bombing this now. Defensive anti-aircraft fire, as expected. We took 1 damage. We dealt none initially, but as we break through its entrenchment, we should start seeing some results. We just dealt 1 damage and took no damage. We just dealt 2 damage and took no damage. Medium bomber won't be as effective here. 2 damage, took no damage. Oh, it can only retaliate a certain amount of times per turn before it can no longer retaliate. Medium bombers. 1 damage, no damage. So I think we just took off like 5 of its health, and it won't be able to resupply that. It's only going to be at 1 supply. And we only took 1 damage on a tactical bomber by doing that, and that's while it was at full health and defending itself. If only this other medium bomber was in range, but that wouldn't be enough to really kill it. However, there's a really, really good chance that we could kill this next turn. That is a 2-turn Siege of Malta with only air power. Of course, now he knows all my fucking bombers are down here. Whoop. But doesn't really matter. Get that set up, and then next turn, if we get roughly as lucky as we did now, if not like even a little less lucky with another plane there and it being weaker, Malta should fall because I'm ready to paratroop in. We're set up. We're good. So we just need to kill it. I give it 1 more turn, maybe. So fine, so funny he tried to bomb the port. There's really no point to doing that. You might as well try it in a strat bomber though, right? That's where I feel like you'd see the best results. But why are these so different? What the fuck? Defense, bonus, defense values. Oh, I see. Bonus first values. So, alright, this is what's important. I still feel like a strat bomber would have been better for that. I love how there's an event that's like Paris damaged by bombing, but it's really not that important. That's why I'm getting anti-air set up, of course. We just don't have it all ready yet. When we do, this core is definitely going to be moving because we want an anti-air here because it's so valuable. I love how he went for Paris instead of the mines. He just kind of intrinsically knew that Paris would be valuable. Well, since we know he's going to be doing that, we'll put some anti-air defense on Paris. It's better than nothing. Until we get a proper anti-air there. And I could make guesses about other things like that, but it's all about when we invest, right? And we know he might be coming back, but maybe not, because he only dealt 1 damage and we recovered it immediately. 1 supply, 2 MPPs. And he took 2 damage to strat bombers. And that's something like 30 plus MPPs to recover. Let's make sure we reinforce this sub for real this time and not forget that. The British national morale, I think, is probably, that's not what I'm looking for, starting to go down. Graphs, national morale, UK. Yeah, it's going to start trickling down as we start raiding their lines more and more and more and more. I'm quite happy with how it's going. He commented directly, finally, on all of these setting up here. He's like, that's a lot of new troops near the Soviet border. It's like, yeah, dude, gotta keep those dang Ruskies out. Additionally, I assume by doing that bombing run, he was able to spot these paratroopers. And if he was losing faith that we might be doing a Operation Sea Lion, this really reinstalled his faith, let me tell you. I put him in the perfect place, apparently. If he was at Cherbourg, he never would have known this guy was here. But he knows this guy's here. He saw him because he flew over him. And now he once again believes they're going to do Operation Sea Lion if he lost his faith at all. Because he he said he hopes he knows how they work, and they prepared himself for them. So he still thinks Operation Sea Lion's coming, which is hilarious, because it's been like half a year. Let's look at Italy. We'll send the 5th Army forward just to hex, just to see what's over here. Yeah, he's got an army and a corps defending, not being very aggressive, which I believe he probably should be, historically. Move the 10th Army right down here for now. Go chill out in an oasis. What's an oasis do? Has some defense bonus. Is that different from, like, clear? I can't even see. I think clear might just be default, because I can't find a place that's clear so far. And right-click it. Yeah, it's probably just default. So Oasis provides some bonus defense. That's good. This won't. Right here, this will not provide defense. Now that we see what's up here, I'm actually going to move back. Lure him in, if anything. And just stay entrenched for right now. We don't want to advance, because we know he has units down here. He could try to flank us. We know he's got a bunch of things over here. He's playing very defensively here, but he's operated Canadian bombers here. That must have been real expensive. All right, so I assume the sub we saw down here was this one. So we're going to move. And let's see. I told him I was going to move straight down the line here. It's going to be difficult to do exactly that, because his sub might be over here. And so I can't control the exact path that I take. I can move fast, but then I can only move a certain amount. And so I guess I'll just stick to the line as best that I can, so I don't accidentally run into that sub of his. Because we definitely don't want to do that. So let's just stick to this as best we can. Get 10 extra hexes by force speed sailing our way over. This technically, I mean, if we take a little bit longer because we're being careful and moving on the exact path I told him that I would, well, then that's technically good, because it means he's going to keep his ships out of this region for longer. Either way, I think at this point it would have been too late. His fleet is so concerned with the British Isles, they would not be able to get down here in time, even without that deal. So that was just kind of not even necessary then, I suppose. Germany finished their command and control research, so right now we have 300 MPPs to put in stuff. They also finished their first level of spying and intelligence. Spying and intelligence, very important for spotting things, as well as speeding up tech, as well as slowing down his tech. And I feel like he's definitely got America on this already, so let's go into a little bit more with Germany. 150 more MPPs spent. That means we only have 150 more to spend though. But there's some good places to put that. Yeah, let's get some spying and intelligence. That leaves us 150 to spend, and there's so many places that I want to put this, ideally. And I think I'll just match 150, 150, and we'll put that into some ASW. We're going to finish up RD weapons, and then that's perma done. 125 freed up for other things. And then there's some things that will be worth going into more, and some things that maybe won't be immediately. But that should be pretty useful in case he tries to go into subs now that he's seen how powerful that they are. I don't expect too much of it, but I want to have that first level before I really know what's going on, so I don't just get caught like, oh, hey, I finally marched ships out, and we don't have any ASW protection at all, and he's invested into subs. I mean, I know he already has some. We've seen them. At the very least, that can help my bombers, my maritime bombers, when I get them. They could definitely benefit off of that. And so we have 122 MPPs remaining, so we've already spent most of our MPPs here. Let's start getting more and more things in position. So we know Baltics will not be involved here. This is it right here. So I think it's safe to... We're going to get one more tank. I don't think it's really going to be necessary up here. We could put it up here, but we already have like 2 down here. This is pretty claustrophobic of an area. It really is. It's a very claustrophobic location. Tank on that road, though, seems so nice, because it also serves to flank. Okay. So we'll move the 10th Army right here. That should suffice. And then let's see what else. The 8th Army. This is going to be a lot of fill-in, but this is all of our armies. Let's put the 8th Army right by Bialystok. Let's put the 14th Army right by Brest-Litovsk. And then where would the 4th Army be good? We got 2 up here, 2 right here, and 1 down here. So maybe another one down here would be good. Let's put it right in the center, right here, so it hugs further north, because down here will again end up being mostly the responsibility after we get past like maybe Laval or Tarnopol of, you know, Hungary, Romania, Bulgaria, and Yugoslavia. I'm gonna have even more troops here than I'm used to. This anti-air the entire time was headed to Cherbourg, so let's get it over to the exact bow cage that I wanted. This town is not very important at all, so we don't really need to defend this. But these two, with the units on them, sure. He's doing a lot of, I think, keeping an eye out on this area right here. I think he's fairly ignoring this area. We just have a garrison down there because they have partisans there. Let's take the U-37 here. We're going to move it across to the other side. And then send it down south. And let's have you end right here. It's a little bit out there. Let's move this guy out. This is, I assume, Spain? Portugal. It's Portugal. He doesn't own that, though. Come down here. Maybe a little bit further. A little bit further. And right there. Right there. This one can actually get elite reinforcements, but I'm not really going to prioritize that because it's just doing raiding right now, and I don't think he's really trying to stop me at the moment. So that's special. I'll take the Coast Guard sub. We're going to send it right down there, just ahead of this one, and then this one is going to head down south, and like so. We'll end it right there, which is slightly off from where that other one was, but he's probably going to think it's like the same one. I don't think he realizes we're just funneling them one by one. Next, we have to get the U-73 moving out, so let's send that up and along the convoy line, because we've assured that he won't be here, and he can get ready to go around the Faroe Islands. We could really take advantage of this Spanish port here, because they let us use it. So, we will use it to keep in supply for basically infinite raiding here if he doesn't come try to stop us, which he might. He might. And only really go back to these super high up ports when we have, say, like a need, like for full repairs, beyond 8, elite reinforcements that we actually care about, or upgrades and that Spanish port is full. Let's take von Bach here, move him down to Pressov, so we can hug the southern group here. We got von Kukler in the middle, von Lieb up here. We know we'll have von Rundstedt here heading back up at some point, maybe to like Lublin, and then we'll also have Rommel, which honestly I think should be enough for now. We do still have the opportunity to sack and replace with all of our generals' ratings have gone up. 7 is now our bare minimum, and that's going to be the way it is for the rest of this. Now, I don't intend on losing any HQs, so sacking and replacing with is still going to be a very important thing that we do. How much does that cost? If I wanted to say put Kesselring here, that's 105 MPPs, but it would get the rating from 7 to 9. And these ratings are not going to go up anymore, and the only time we're going to lose any of these is if they die. All of these 7s right here, all 3 of these are the worst possible ratings we can have. So, you know, we're going to get this 9, 10, 9, 8, 8, 8. Replacing all of them is just a no-brainer. Even that +1 is realistically worth it, considering the replacement will be for the entire fight with the USSR and anything that comes after, aka most of the war. I'll probably just substitute von Manstein in, because we don't need to, like, we don't need to keep anybody like von Kukler, because even if I replace all 3 of these, 1, 2, 3, there's still another 8 ratings that we have in spare, and it just makes these 7s completely irrelevant. I mean, how many fucking HQs can we even have? Well, we can have a lot more to the point where we would use them. Throw in Rommel there, and we still have 3 more. That's the 2 8s and 1 7, but I don't think we'll ever really be using that many HQs. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but 100 MPPs now to replace a HQ that would then become like better for a notable period of time, rather than waiting to save up 400 MPPs just to purchase an additional one. It's a little bit more money in the long term, maybe, right? If we get production costs to decrease, then this cost might come down so much, really, that it actually makes up for that. But I think it's totally worth it. We can only do 1 right now, but we'll do that. We'll just put von Manstein on this one. Oh, the higher the rating, the more it costs to substitute them in. Oh, that's interesting. I still think it's worth it. We're gonna sack von Kukler and replace him with von Manstein here. Von Manstein, rating 10. We got him. All right, cool. He'll be right there in the center. I'll get everybody else kind of replaced and booted up. We still have to do the same thing in Japan. We're just always on the move or purchasing something that I feel like can't wait. Now we have a couple more units kind of waiting to go. This is going to be for a tank. So anything else is going to be for a core. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. That's already 18, bro. That's already 18. We got to get more people like that are going to wait just outside of range or something like that. With movement points of 5, doubled is 10. With movement points of 10 by default, unless it rains. I'll put the 2 fighters in there, because moving in air is just more expensive. And I'm going to move some of these other guys back. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's put you back right over there for right now. We're going to have you guys kind of wait. The debuff doesn't kick in until the beginning of 41, but ideally we don't want to give him any free MPPs until we're pretty certain that we're about to begin our advance. I'd say roughly around the beginning of the winter, which is actually pretty soon. Maybe not the beginning of the winter, but like the middle of the winter is when we'd want to really move into position properly to be ready. And for now, we just kind of amass otherwise. So I'll send these fighters up to Prague. The other, like, air is probably just going to end up operating in. That would be expensive, but there's a chance that that's what they do. We don't have a lot of turns before we would get our opportunity to invade. And with the way the weather goes here, winter can go into the spring as well. Something we have to keep in mind. Look up at the 5th Corps just behind Leipzig. That's just past the 10 mark. While we wait for the opportunity to more easily move that one in. These ships just need to kind of stay out of range so that they don't count. So let's go. Just keep the really important ones in port. All the other ones are just going to float about. Definitely staying out of range. We'll handle any naval upgrades that need to happen later. Right now, we're just getting prepared for the invasion of the Soviets. All these are going to join. We're going to spend a lot of MPPs all at once getting them up to date. This is some upgrades we got to do at the front here, but I've done most of them that I need to have a healthy front. Like, I have enough cores. 1, 2, you know, we're going to get that tank. 1, core. We're going to get another army too, I think. Front's already full. Initial front. Extra units will help, and we will have extra units. And we're going to have tons of air as well. And we have more and more that we can draw from already. No more units need to be purchased for this front at the moment. Any more tanks or whatever would be good, but they don't need to happen until later. And all the money now just needs to go into upgrades, and then also transportation, and getting these guys ready for their front. Let me fly a curious little fighter run. Yep, he's got the special forces at Siwa Oasis, so definitely want to be careful about that. We will reinforce this sub back up to max, the one that got the lucky hit on the enemy battleship. And that was pretty good for us. 112 MPPs remaining as Italy. Probably going to save that, because there is a research that there's a couple that I really would like to start. But I'll probably just go for one of them. That's probably going to be naval weaponry, so that they're as good as our infantry. And so when, you know, inevitably I think we're going to fight over the Mediterranean. I think if he doesn't try for Torch, he's going to try something still, because he'll want to go for Italy. He'll remember that they're supposed to be weak. They are the underbelly, right? Especially as most of my units will be in Africa. So I definitely want to get that research started while it's convenient. But additionally, once this is done right here, we are going to be upgrading and then shipping off tons of Italians here. But we're not really in a rush to do that, because right now, sure, he's spending money where he is, but every moment he's not attacking and dealing damage to us, he's giving me time to build Italy up a little bit better, to be able to hold on to the Mediterranean and fight down here, while he focuses on other things like preparing for a sea lion that's not coming, and while I prepare to curb stomp the USSR. With that being said, I think that's all the time we have for this episode, so we'll finish up this turn on the next episode. So thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you there.